What is good, everybody? This is Charles from Team COG coming to you guys here with an Infernoble combo tutorial showcasing the infamous Ogier and Museum line that only uses one Angelica. Now, if you guys have been a part of the channel for a long time, if you guys have been a part of my live streams, even the very beginning, I've always been a one Angelica. I've explained that you only need one Angelica and that the Ogier Museum gets you to some crazy, crazy boards. Now, there are technically two lines you can do with the Ogier Museum. There is a gear-freed line that protects you under 5 summons, but ends you on a very significantly weaker board. I've featured that in some streams and stuff like that. For the most part, you get to end on Charles with Gear Freed, which Charles is a pop and a spell and trap negate, and a Gear Freed, which is a monster negate. So that's 3 disruptions right there. And if you're depending on the hand and what happens, you can potentially go further. It has probably the ability to go a little bit further than like the other combo does, to get you to more like 4 or 5 disruptions, depending, etc. But the most popular combo here ends you on 6 disruptions. It is very susceptible to nib, which is kind of upsetting. But everything has to be fair in the sense like that. It just always drives me kind of crazy. Like whenever I have any access to get to Ogier and Renault, which is literally the insurance under Gear Freed, I always take that route because everyone plays hand traps. Everybody is playing like almost like 9 hand traps for sure. So I always choose to go Ogier. But this route right here actually shows you what happens if you don't want to do that, and it shows you like a full board, which is entirely crazy. If you are fans of this deck, you will. I don't know if this is the fabled like line that Giant Franco has taught Pack and what Pack was talking about, but this is just the line that I know. And I've seen a few other content creators put out there and talk about how, oh, this particular combo is not susceptible to nib. We can play through nib. You cannot. I'm sorry. If a player nibs you correctly, and it's going to be, Isold's your 5th summon. If they even blindly hit your Isolde with nib, you can't do anything about it unless you're depending on your other hands. The reason they say that, and the reason you will hear them say that, oh, the combo can push through nib, is simply because you get Renault to hand, and Renault is just a phenomenal card to push through nib if you're able to get another Fire Warrior out. And in this combo sequence, it's going to be entirely dependent on what you have in your hand if you're going to be able to get out another Fire Warrior to push through getting blasted by a nib. Well, enough rambling. If you guys want to help support the channel, check the links down in the description below. Hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you never miss when I go live. And also hit that join button if you really want to help. Become a member, get knighted, get awesome perks and rewards and stuff like that. But anyway, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump into the combo here. So to start out with, you can either go Museum first or Ogier. We'll just go ahead and start out, and we're going to go Ogier effect. On summon, you're going to get to Foolish Burial, Turpin. If you were doing the other sequence, you would send Gear Freed here, but like I said, you're going to go ahead and send Turpin. We'll go and activate the Museum, pay 12 to go ahead and get ourselves a field, not a field spell, we already have field, get ourselves an equip spell. We're going to go ahead and grab the Infernoble Arms Durandal. We'll then go ahead and equip Durandal here to Ogier, and we'll use Turpin's effect to special summon itself. Go ahead and use Durandal's effect right now to go ahead and destroy itself to add yourself any level 5 or lower Fire Warrior. We're going to go ahead and grab Renault. So then we're going to go ahead and overlay here for Battle Boxer Dempsey. So Dempsey, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of Arthur. I like the King Arthur lines. Even though Dempsey does the same thing, that's a hill I'll die on. I'll say that Arthur can do what Dempsey does, but Dempsey can't do what Arthur does. But anyway, this is kind of cool to show more combos utilizing Dempsey. Dempsey's effect, will go ahead and grab yourself any Fire Warrior, but Flint Lady is the number one culprit because she just beams right out of the hand. So you use Flint Lady's effect to go ahead and special summon herself. This is summon number 4. So this is what I was talking about, where like you're kind of get into nib line or nib range here. We'll go ahead and make ourselves Isolde, the 2 Tails of the Noble Knight. And some people are calling for Isolde to be banned. Guys, I'm 100% telling you that I can never speak that what Konami will do. But if they were going to ban Isolde, this is not the time to ban Isolde. If you were going to ban this card, it was back in Goki and Dark Warrior format where this card was literally just the key root of all problems. Now, it's being played in its deck. If they're going to hit anything, let's be honest, they'll probably touch up the Phoenix Blade, even though it doesn't need to be hit, and arguably maybe touch Connector and Dolphin, because as good as that engine is, as much as I love Connector and Dolphin, that is probably the most, being able to see the hand is what makes this deck pretty insane. But do take note, no matter what they hit, unless they completely slaughter the deck, even if they hit Isolde, we're okay. We just pivot into more Angelica lines, which might make the deck a little bit more cool and a little bit more fun. But anywho, you go here, you add yourself your Fire Warrior. Doesn't matter what you add. You can even add Connector. I always go for a Fire Warrior because it has more synergy. If you have Oliver in your hand, that will be what will allow you to push through getting nibbed here. But here, this is your 5th summon. If they decide to nib you, as you can see with what we have, there's nothing really much we can do. But if I was going to nib, I'll show you. We'll go ahead and use the Angelica's effect, or not the Angelica's effect. We'll go ahead and use the Isolde's effect to send the Angelica's Angel Ring to the graveyard to go ahead and summon out Ricardetto. When you summon out Ricardetto's effect will activate, and it'll bring out one of your level 4s from your graveyard. You can choose Turpin or Ogier, whichever one you want, but go ahead and summon out. So this is where I would nib, personally. If I was gonna smack with nib, this is where I'd nib. But nib's false, it's a fake, it doesn't exist. So we're just gonna play to our heart's content. We'll summon out Angelica. We'll go ahead and use Angelica's effect to add the second field spell. And then we'll go ahead and use either Ogier or Turpin, whichever one you want to. We'll go ahead and use Ogier's effect to attempt to target the Angelica to equip it. And then we'll chain Angelica's effect to go ahead and send Gearfried. And then she, of course, she leaves and she summons out Roland. Fun fact for you people out there history fact, for you who don't know, Angelica and Roland were lovers. That is why she is able to tag into Roland. Gotta love Konami and their department for like at least keeping it lore official. But anyway, you get to this point here, you go ahead and use your Turpin in your graveyard, or if you use Turpin to whichever one you did not use to attach to the Angelica, use to attach to Roland. So then you go ahead and use the Museum's effect to go ahead and special summon out the Roland, and then you just go ahead and synchro here for Charles. Myself in synchro form. Haha. You go ahead and then activate your second field spell. Pay 12 to go ahead and grab Almus from the deck. Then you can go ahead and equip Almus here to Charles, and then we can link on down into the Emperor Charles the Great. Chainlink 1 Charles, Chainlink 2 Almus. Of course, you know Almus is going to go ahead and grab back that Gearfried that we sent off the Angelica, and then this Charles is going to equip here. So you can, now it's just whichever order you want to go into. We'll just go ahead and fire off Gearfried by banishing Almus. And then you can go ahead and use the field spell to bring up Emperor Charles. And then let's go ahead and special summon out Renault. Renault, go ahead and grab back. We'll grab back Durandal for follow-up. And then you go ahead and use Roland's effect in the graveyard to attach to this Charles here, the synchro. And then you go ahead and link down one last time into the Emperor. Emperor will then equip the Charles. And then you turn Isolde and Renault up here into SP Little Knight, the format warping card that is quite literally insane. This card just is kind of bonkers. So here you go. This is essentially what Ogier Museum can get to you here. This ain't even the final product. I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually moved to the end phase. End phase, Charles' effect will activate, equipping Angelica's Angel Ring, and then grabbing a Fire Warrior from the deck. So depending on what you want to do, you can either grab the Malgus or you can grab Oliver. Or you can grab Ogier if you fear like lightning storms or anything like that. You can grab Malgus, equipped Charles, pop Malgus, and then you can draw, shuffle 3 back and draw. Or if you fear like cards like Inperm and stuff like that, go ahead and grab Oliver. I normally go for Oliver just because I know hypothetically speaking, like maybe you should go for Malgus because like you have so much that you're not scared of like one Inperm. But if the opponent has 6 cards and an Inperm can just easily bait one of the Charleses, you'd rather them like not be able to target one, right? And that's just my opinion. However, I can also, now that I say it out loud, I can also see the logic of where if they're going to Inperm, they're going to waste it regardless. So it's like, might as well just have the Malgus to go ahead and draw. You know what I mean? But we'll go ahead and go right here. Make it simple. And then this is the final end board right here. You have SP Little Knight Banish. There's 1 disruption. A Spell and Trap Negate with Charles. There's 2 disruptions. Monster of an Effect Negate with Gearfried. 3 disruptions. And then you have a Spell and Trap Negate with this Charles. That's 4. Then you have the Angelica's Angel Ring. That's 5. And then the fact that either one of these Charles can pop a card. That's 6 disruptions. Just with Ogier and Renault. Ogier and Museum. Whoa. I think I just almost had a stroke there. That's crazy. Lost in the sauce and too much that I'm like glitching out. But 6 forms of disruption just with 1 Angelica. And let's also not forget that Angelica comes back. And I like to disrespect my opponent and put Angelica right in the enema zone. Just so if they want to try and disrespect me and try to take Angelica, she can tag out. And this is where, like, if you have Malgus still in the deck, you can dump Malgus, tag out, and draw, and you just punish them for trying to take your Angelica, which is, you know, pretty crazy. Because sometimes, let's be honest, Anima's there to force stuff. So, like, if they try to make Anima to take this and force, like, Gearfried, you just literally just Angelica beam on out. So, but this is the combo that I believe is, like, this is, like, insane. It's, again, so awesome to have, like, this type of stuff. If you guys want to see more combos and stuff like that, comment down below. I know I should probably do an update on the 1-card combo, especially since, like, not a lot of people are, like, into King Arthur, the 1-card combo utilizing Dempsey and stuff like that. But if you guys want to see stuff like that, put it down in the comment section. And, yeah, this is it. It's kind of crazy, right? Museum and Ogier does all this. So, hopefully Konami doesn't try to check this deck. I really hope so. But who knows? Who knows what will happen in the future? But anyway, please remember, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.